Well, thank you everyone for spending some time with us today. Like Nadia said, my name is Logan Foots. I'm the sales and education director here at Golf Status. I've been with the company for 7 years now. We will have some poll questions throughout this presentation, and when I ask them, you can simply just put your answer in the chat. But before we get going with everything and jump into our first poll question, I do have a brief roadmap of everything we'll cover in today's session. So first, we'll talk about why sponsorships are so important for your golf event. Then we'll take a look at the right sponsor. What does a really good sponsor look like for your golf event? And then get into the right sponsorship packages. So what you should consider when putting together your various sponsorship levels. We'll take a look at some unique sponsorships we've seen in our time here at Golf Status, and we've seen some really cool, unique ones that hopefully might spark some creativity when putting together your own sponsorship packages. We'll go over how to go about making the ask of these sponsors, and then lastly, we'll finish up with how technology makes it so simple. And then also we will finish up with that Q&A session. I'll answer some of your questions you have. If I don't get around to answering your question, my contact info will be displayed at the end of our session here. So please do not hesitate to reach out to me directly, and I'll get an answer to your question. Or if I can't answer it, I'll point you in the right direction to where you can get an answer. So first off, we will have our first poll question of the day. Like I said earlier, just throw your answer in the chat. So first question is, how much do you know about golf? Do you know not a thing? Do you know enough to be dangerous? Or are you basically an expert? You could quote the rules of golf to me, to a T. So it looks like most of you are enough to be dangerous. Someone said zilch. I like that, Marilyn. I always ask that question because it is kind of I would say, a common misconception that you need to really be very knowledgeable about the game of golf to put on a successful golf fundraiser, which could not be further from the truth. You definitely don't need to be an expert at all. There's technology available. There's so much support to you to pull this off. I work with multiple event organizers here at Golf Status that they don't know a thing about golf. They're not golfers. They never will be golfers, but they know how to put on a successful event. They've got the right tools at their disposal. So you can absolutely do this if you don't know anything about the game of golf specifically. So to get started, I want to go over why sponsorships are so important to your organization, to your nonprofit. They are really the heart of a golf event's fundraising power. So golfer registration is an important part of the puzzle, but sponsorships are where you can raise the most money, really in the biggest chunks. So as we'll get into, the options for sponsorships are abundant, and you can really tailor them to your specific event's needs. So they also allow you to build high-level donor relationships. Golf event sponsorships are really a great entry point for your organization to get exposure and start building that relationship with a sponsor. And they also allow you to kind of foster corporate partnerships as well. So a business wants to get in front of your event's golfers and purchase a sponsorship. And I'll get into the golfer demographic on the next slide. But this is really your chance to really steward these folks and hopefully convert them into additional broader support of your organization. And great sponsors also add credibility to your event and to your cause as well. The addition of a sponsor can really help add legitimacy to your event, particularly if you're a first year or even a second year event, you're really brand new to the community. If they see, XYZ business, a very prominent business who's been around for a while supports this event, it must be a legit event. So these are things to really help you sell prospective sponsors when making that pitch. So first off, you're offering these sponsors really great brand exposure to a very key demographic. So you make it very easy for them to justify this investment. You're providing them that direct exposure to their ideal customer or client. And when we look at the golfer demographic, you'll see that over 50% of golfers are between the ages of 25 and 55. This is the age demographic with the most spending power. The average golfer's net worth is over $768,000. The average household income among golfers is over $100,000. And 33% of golfers are top-level managers at their place of work. So this speaks to this demographic being highly affluent and very influential. But you're also offering positive PR. Sponsoring a golf tournament can provide brand lift for a company by being associated with a really good cause and community outreach. So it's a very win-win investment when you pitch it to them in that way, providing that great brand lift, getting exposure to a great demographic, and supporting really just a really great cause. And corporate social responsibility is really big in this day and age. So more and more people want to work for and do business with companies that prioritize corporate social responsibility. A stat that we pulled from Double the Donation, 77% of consumers prefer to buy from businesses that actively strive to make their community a better place, and 88% want to know about a company's CSR initiative. So it's a very powerful force in this day and age. And it's also a great opportunity for a sponsor to do business. We all know a lot of business gets done on the golf course. So they use this as an opportunity to entertain clients, maybe potential clients, engage with their employees, so some employee appreciation. It's a very relaxed, enjoyable setting, and it really helps build relationships and strengthen connections. So not only can you build relationships with these sponsors while at your golf tournament, but sponsors will use that opportunity to do just the same, whether it's with their employees or maybe with some prospective clients of their own. So now let's get into the right sponsor. What do the right sponsors typically look like? So we see a lot of local businesses obviously supporting golf events, those in the community or communities where your nonprofit is very prominent, where you're primarily located, and can also be regional or national companies as well. So if you have some of those bigger fish in your area, don't be afraid to go after them, especially if those folks are headquartered with offices in your area or have any ties to your nonprofit whatsoever. The big thing with a lot of these larger companies is they likely have a budget for supporting charity golf events or just sponsoring charity events in general. So don't be afraid to go after them. They likely have money set aside just for that, but you make sure you want to get in front of them as early as possible before they use that budget up. But also in-kind services or donations are great as well. So think beyond the monetary sponsorships and make sure you still recognize their contributions. This could be PR or marketing services. Maybe they provided an auction item, a whole prize, a raffle prize, or maybe they contributed something to your swag bag. Those things are still very valuable as well, and you can still recognize those folks as a sponsor for your event. When we look into what companies are in certain industries that typically support golf events that we see support them quite frequently. So first off, food and beverage companies. So restaurants, including locally owned, farm to table, upscale restaurants, wineries, vineyards, distilleries, liquor stores, beverage distributors. I love beverage distributors because not only are they likely to come on board as a sponsor, but they always have so much swag that they are looking to just give away. So they can definitely provide prizes or items to include in your swag bags as well. So they're a very popular sponsor for that reason. But then sports, cocktail bars, especially if you have a sports bar in proximity to the golf course you'll be hosting the event at, they likely will jump at the chance to sponsor because they're likely going to get a lot of people coming over to them after the event concludes. So if you have any sports bars or any bars whatsoever in close proximity to the golf course you're utilizing, definitely hit them up for a sponsorship. Then we look at companies like healthcare providers, primary care physicians, dentists, orthodontists, chiropractors, sports medicine, physical therapists, surgical practices, dermatologists. Our marketing team here at Golf Status actually runs their own mini golf event. They have multiple dentists that have sponsored them each year they've ran it. So dentists tend to be very popular, at least with their event, but we see them with a lot of other events as well. So if you, we all have a dentist, so reach out to your dentist and see if they would come on board as a sponsor. You might be surprised at how much success that you have. Sports and fitness, so gyms, fitness centers, personal trainers, sporting goods stores, obviously golf equipment stores. That's a perfect fit for sponsoring a golf event, but also B2B as well. So ad agencies, PR companies, tech companies, as well as consultants. We also see a lot of financial service providers, very popular sponsor for a golf event. Obviously want to get in front of that golfing demographic. That's who they want to drive to their business. So financial advisors, wealth management services, insurance companies, agents, CPAs, accounting firms, banks, credit unions. We have another client of ours It was a first year event they put on, and they sold a sponsorship to 5 different banks. They all came on board as a sponsor, and this was a first year event. So again, if you're looking to grow your sponsors, I definitely recommend reaching out to any banks in your area. Obviously, there's a ton of them. Home services, so home builders, architects, real estate companies, agents, home remodeling companies, contractors, interior designers. We've seen all of those types of companies come on board as sponsors, but also luxury brands and services. So we're talking jewelers, high-end clothing brands and boutiques, luxury car dealerships, and high-end furniture stores. Then we also see a lot of travel companies as popular golf event sponsors as well. So car dealerships, car services, rental car companies, as well as travel agencies. Now let's transition into the right sponsorship packages. So how should we really format these and build these out so they're really attractive? So one thing I like to lead off on this slide is a quote from one of my favorite tournament organizers. Is she would always tell me, if I can put a logo on it, I'm going to sell a sponsorship for it. And that's a great mindset to have. Don't be afraid to get creative. Think outside the box. But overall, sponsorship packages should be appropriate and they should be appealing. So things to consider when putting together your sponsorship packages are, first off, player demographics. Think, who are the types of people that I have playing in this event? What sponsors would definitely want to get in front of these folks? You can think of the caliber of the golf course as well as the reputation of your golf event itself. If supporters tend to return year after year and your event sells out quickly, don't be afraid to edge up prices a bit, add another sponsorship level, or even offer additional premium packages. You want to ensure your packages are providing recognition, exposure, as well as value to the purchasing sponsor. So businesses want the highest possible ROI for their investment in your event. So digital exposure really offers some awesome broad exposure as well. An event website is a great option for this. So eyeballs on logos when they come to the site to register, see information about the event. Social media is also a very powerful tool to provide value to your sponsors when purchasing a package. We work with multiple events actually that will do a specific social media post, shout out every time they bring on a new sponsor for the golf event. That's just providing added value, really at no cost to you or the sponsor, and it just shows your appreciation to them coming on board to support, and that can go a long way with a sponsor. And then also clearly explain what the sponsor gets in return for their support. So really outline very clearly, very precisely everything they can expect to receive in terms of what package they purchased. Really sets you up for success because you're being very transparent with them at the outset. Here's what you'll get with this package, and then obviously executing on all of those items will ensure they have a really great experience. But you also want to help sponsors meet their goals. So do they want exposure? Do they want the chance to engage with golfers? So don't be afraid to have that conversation with them when selling them. What are you looking to get out of this sponsorship package? What do you want to achieve? Work with them to create a custom package if need be. Make them look good. First and foremost, you want to make sure they look good in every piece of marketing material that you'll be including them in. So pay attention to the details, quality logos, the right messaging. And at the end of the day, you want to put on a professional, well-run event that really reflects well on the sponsors. That's really the best thing you can do. Execute as flawlessly as possible in everything you're providing them, but show them that you're not only able to execute the sponsorship package they purchased, but the event as a whole was very well run, very professional. That will make them feel really good about not only spending money with you that year, but probably wanting to come back in the very next year as well and become a sponsor again. So these are some of the most common golf tournament sponsorships that we see in our work here at Golf Status. So lots of variables on these and what each package can include, but you want to make sure you tailor to your event and its needs. So this kind of gives you a good foundation, a good outline of what good sponsorship packages can look like. And when listing these on your event website, clearly state what the sponsorship includes. Essentially, spell out what the business gets in return for purchasing the package. One or more teams, exposure on the website, logo on print materials and signage, social media shout out, mention them at the tournament's kickoff or award ceremony, everything that you are giving them, all the exposure points. Make sure you list all of that out. So first and foremost, we have the technology sponsor. So this is a unique sponsorship and is exclusive to us here at Golf Status. It is premium exposure throughout our platform. And I'm happy to share more about this if anyone is interested. Our clients have raised on average an extra $4,000 or more with this specific sponsorship, but it really offers really great broad digital exposure. So like I said, if you want any more information on that, reach out to me. Happy to get you all the info on that you need. Then we have your title presenting sponsor. Sometimes this is called the gold, platinum sponsor, or eagle sponsor. You see it a lot of tiered sponsorships, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, whatever it may be, maybe birdie, eagle. But this is your top tier. This is the sponsor that is getting the most exposure. And when in terms of what range the pricing falls in line with this sponsor, we see anywhere from $5,000 all the way up to $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 even. Again, tailor that to your event, but this is the highest dollar sponsorship package that has the most exposure. Another popular option we see is the pin flag sponsor. So you can do really 9 or 18 holes. This is the flag on every green on every hole, selling that to a sponsor. So you can sell one individual sponsor per hole, or you can sell all 18 flags on the course to one sponsor. I see the most lucrative exposures for one sponsor who purchases all 18 flags. I think that's a lot more valuable, having them seen on every single hole instead of just one. But we still see some events have success selling one-off flags as well. Flags are one of my favorite things about flags is they're a very tangible keepsake for sponsors. You can frame it, give it back to them as a thank you. If you have any celebrities or famous people in the community playing in it, you can have them sign it and even auction it off, raffle it off, whatever it may be. So many golfers or people who work for companies that sponsor golf events love framed flags. I mean, I have one literally right behind me from an event that we sponsored at Golf Stats, and it's signed by the winner of that. It's the Corn Ferry event that we sponsored the Pro-Am. So it is a very, very popular keepsake item. So being able to frame a flag and give it back, again, is a great relationship builder. And it's one of the reasons I love a flag sponsorship. But also we have contest sponsors, very popular. So the contest sponsor can cover any fixed cost for a contest like a hole-in-one contest or a putting contest where you have an insurance company involved to cover the cost of the prize if someone were to win the contest. So contests are very fun. They're very memorable. And the great thing about the contest sponsors, not only can they cover the fixed cost of the contest, but they can actually be on site if you'd like them to be, actually run the contest for you. So they're getting to not only sponsor this really fun, memorable contest, but they can also engage with your golfers as well and kind of almost act as a volunteer running the contest for you, which is really great. And then some more sponsors, some of the maybe lower level sponsors below that. So we have the hole sponsor. The hole sponsor is great because it's a really nice entry point for some sponsors. If they don't maybe have a super large budget to sponsor, they can come in and sponsor a hole. That could be anywhere from $100 to $200, $250. So it's a really nice entry point for your sponsors. On-course entertainment sponsor. We've seen a lot of companies pop up recently that provide really cool on-course entertainment. So like a long driver, a Beat the Pro, and you can easily attach a sponsor to that contest. The cart sponsor. It's very popular to have the beverage cart sponsored, which is I'm going to get into on the next bullet here. But having a sponsor for the actual golf carts the golfers will be riding in can be very valuable. Get signage big enough to slap on everyone's golf cart. Usually we typically see a magnet that can stick onto the cart, but that's something that's going to be seen throughout the day all over the golf course and all the golf carts. So that's very popular. And then you have your food and beverage sponsor as well. So anyone who sponsors the lunch, cocktail hour, drink tickets, the dinner or the breakfast, the banquet, and again, the beverage cart sponsor, that's a very popular sponsorship opportunity as well. It's a sponsor we see a lot of our events have success selling. Now let's get into some of the fun ones. I love these next two slides going over some of the unique sponsorships. So the cool thing about a golf tournament is that there are so many opportunities to sell sponsorships, and you can really get creative in building these packages. It's a really good idea to consider what's going to stick with golfers, what's going to stick in their mind, what's going to be useful and really resonate with them long after the tournament is over. So here are some of the more unique sponsorship options we've seen with golf fundraisers. So the ultimate hole sponsorship. So when we think of a hole sponsor, we typically think of just that sign, that real estate size sign on the tee box, and that's it. The ultimate hole sponsorship also provides not just the hole sign, but the flag on the hole, being the hole sponsor within the app, on the live scoring app. They could also buy more than one if they wanted additional exposure as well. You could even have a sign on the tee box, one more towards the green. Then they got the flag, they have the in app. So it's a ton of exposure points on that one hole to make up the ultimate hole sponsorship. Then the hole cup sponsor. So this is a sponsor logo that is inside the actual cup. So every time the golfers go to pick their ball out of the cup, they're going to see this in the hole, and that's what's on your screen right now. Here, there are companies that make cutouts just for that. It's nothing, something that never occurred to me until I saw it one time in an event, and it's actually makes a lot of sense because that is going to be seen by almost every golfer on the hole. Then swag sponsorships. So you can get really hyper specific and sell sponsorships for individual components for your swag bag, or just lump it in under one umbrella. So, golf balls, clothing, custom tee markers, golf towel, a Yeti cup. Higher end gifts are great, but seek out some higher end sponsors for those things as well. So you can really get creative, mix and match with the swag bag, and drive really multiple sponsors for this. Or if you can get one big fish, one big sponsor to come in and sponsor the whole thing, that would be really great too. And then experiential sponsorships. So for example, a foot massage in the shade on the course. I've even seen just a full-on masseuse on a tee box at a golf event. A luxury car test drive in the club parking lot when you make the turn, or a golf pro on the driving range or putting green, maybe giving lessons. So maybe walking golfers through a quick clinic before or after the event, giving a quick putting lesson, things like that. So just experiential sponsorships, things where you actually have someone teaching or giving them a really cool experience during, before, or even after the golf event. Next is a driving range or a practice green sponsorship. So this would include signage on the driving range. It could be just banners, big signs you stick in the ground, even a range rope across the ground that's branded, as well as the practice green. So you could have branded golf balls just sprinkled throughout the green that golfers are using to warm up, or even for the range, branded range dividers as well. So there's a lot of cool different things you could use to provide recognition and exposure on the driving range, as well as the practice green. And then we see tee box sponsors as well. So this is really great for any company that wants to interact with the golfers at the event, give out samples, kind of educate people on their company, what they provide, what service or product they may provide. So putting them on the tee box, they can also hand out, food, drinks. Companies like that are very popular for this. One of the cool stories I heard from an event is they had a cigar company sponsor, and they brought out someone who was hand rolling cigars and was doing that throughout the tournament. And there were so many golfers that came up to him, even some that don't smoke cigars at all, that said it was just so cool to watch this guy actually roll the cigars on the tee box. So you could also have any of these folks run a game or an activity. Like I said, if you have a contest and they want to be the one out there running the contest while they're sponsoring it, that's a great option as well. Then we have the photo booth sponsorship. So a great opportunity for a company that wants to have kind of a memorable presence. You can have the company's logo as a watermark to the final photo. You can take photos of each group on a certain hole. A very fun, memorable sponsorship that you can have at the event. And custom head cover sponsorship. I also really like this one. I'm a sucker for a very nice custom head cover. You can get a really good volume discount from the head cover provider. Might be more incentivized to give you a discount because you are essentially advertising their product as well. So there are a lot of really cool custom head cover companies out there. So reach out to them, and a lot of them might even have a program where they can give you that volume discount, especially if you come to them and say, I'm going to give you exposure for your company, and this is going to support a really great cause as well. So let's transition to making the ask. So to start, when it comes to kind of seeking out potential sponsorships, start with your existing relationships. So activate, any volunteers you have working for you, anyone on your board, anyone on your planning committee, really have them tap into their own personal networks and have them make intros to you, or even ask if they're comfortable doing so. But that's usually where you'll have the most success, at least getting in front of someone, getting your foot in the door, starting with those internal personal networks, personal relationships that you already have. Next, you want to leverage vendors and other companies you already do business with. So they may be happy to support your event in order to gain exposure, through a sponsorship or even an in-kind donation. Don't discount the value of an in-kind donation if they can't provide a monetary sponsorship. But if they're already doing business with you, they're likely will be very open to a conversation to sponsor your golf event. And those that want to get their brand in front of an affluent, influential members of the community, these are ideal people to go after for a sponsorship. They want to get in front of potential clients, potential customers. So definitely seek those folks out who you feel will be a really good fit and really do a fantastic job of highlighting your value proposition. So your event is in a unique position to help sponsors really meet their business objectives while supporting a really good cause. So really highlight for sponsors, here's all what's in it for you, that brand lift, being able to engage with our golfers. We have X amount of golfers you can expect. You can get in front of all of them throughout the day with really cool, broad exposure. So really push what's all in it for them, but also work with them to really understand what they are wanting to get out of it as well. So next step is to list those packages on your event website. This makes it easier for you to promote all of these sponsorship opportunities. You can simply share a link where sponsors can learn about the event, see all the sponsorship opportunities available, and then commit and pay on the spot with just a few clicks. That'll save you a ton of time and make it easy for your whole team, whether it's your board, your volunteers, your planning committee, all of them. Make it super easy for them to promote because you're all using the same call to action. It's just that link. And reach out to sponsors directly. Explain the event, the role it plays in your fundraising goals, the impact that the dollars will have on your mission. Use a template, provide talking points so your messaging is consistent across the board. If one or more of your members of your team are reaching out, and they should be. So I love you're really explaining the impact the dollars are having on your mission. Really get as specific as possible. Purchasing the sponsorship will help provide meals to the homeless for 1 week. So get very specific. That can help you in selling more sponsorships and really making it feel like it's a valuable expense to that sponsor. And then follow up and steward appropriately. So phone call, email, both. Be persistent. You're not going to get a sponsorship sold likely after one email or one call. Continuously hit them up, be persistent, show them that you are really passionate and you really care about this cause. It likely will take, more than one attempt to get their attention. So don't be afraid to be persistent with them, and then recognize their contribution and provide them as much exposure as you possibly can. So get their logo on that event website right away when they come on board. Again, I already mentioned this, but the social media shout out, I love that angle, linking back to your event website. It gets more eyeballs on their logos. It encourages other sponsors to jump on board, but it just shows that appreciation, which I know sponsors will love. You put out a whole social media post on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it may be, just for them, just for coming on board. They'll really appreciate that. So let's go to our next poll question. Like I said, with our first poll, just put your answer in the chat. Have you ever planned a golf tournament? Simple yes or no. Are you someone that is kind of never done this before? You're kind of just flushing out the idea. Or are you one of our resident experts that have planned multiple golf tournaments? Looks like we got a pretty good mix of both, which is common. So hopefully everything we've gone over today, you can take away some really great insights and apply these to your events. And if you're someone who said no, don't be afraid to do this. You can absolutely pull off an effective golf fundraiser with the right tools. So I'm glad you're here kind of learning about sponsorships, because this is something that is so key to putting on a successful golf event. So let's get into, how does technology make this simple? So first and foremost, if you're using technology, you can provide some of those packages, those sponsorship packages that offer premium digital exposure. So offering multiple touch points throughout the platform, on the event website, on the mobile app, even utilizing social media as well. It also allows for very simple promotion. I kind of already touched on this, but sending a link to your event website gets more eyeballs on the sponsor's brand, and it can prompt other sponsors to get involved. and it makes just the promotion of it just so much easier. You can simply send them that link. They can learn about everything, find out everything they need to know, and they can commit right then and there on the spot. And allows the sponsor as well to share it out with all of their employees, all of their audience, their clients, whatever it may be. Allows it them to share it very easily. And then easy sponsor onboarding. They can purchase right through an event website, provide assets, logos, links. So there's really no time consuming back and forth with the sponsor to get everything you need from them. They can give it to you all in one foul swoop. And instant visibility. So the logo, when they purchase a sponsorship via an event website, that logo goes right up right away once they upload it during their checkout process. And then it starts garnering those impressions right at the outset. Now, these are some things to look for in your event management technology. These are things that should be included. So simple, easy to use. Technology that is not easy to use really isn't saving you any time. You want it to be able to streamline and automate your prep and your planning. Should help you absolutely save as much time as possible. And it should reduce that time burden on the organizers, especially if you're a one-person show. This should save you as much time as possible. So it's freeing you up to do the more important things. And it needs to be specific to golf. There's obviously a lot of general event management software options out there, but none can handle the unique needs of a golf event. So team pairings, hole assignments, getting the custom printouts that you need, like cart signs, scorecards, hole assignment sheet, the live scoring. The scoring of the golf event is unique to the golf. Nothing else out there is scored like a golf event is scored. So again, there's lots of event management platforms, but you need to find one that can handle those golf specific details. And it needs to be able to keep everything organized. So having everything in one place makes it so much easier to collaborate with everyone on your planning team, with all the staff at the golf facility. This makes it possible to work with up-to-date information, and you're not having to manage things across multiple spreadsheets or Google Docs, emails, other documents, whatever it may be. Have it all in one centralized location that is updating in real time. And there should be some tools as well to raise more money. So offering some premium sponsorship opportunities should have the ability to collect just straight donations, allow registrants to cover any fees that may be involved with paying via credit card. Having those built-in fundraising tools will allow you to maximize how much you are fundraising for the golf event. So moving on to our last poll. How likely are you to hold a golf tournament in the next 12 months? Are you maybe thinking about it? Are you probably going to do it? Are you someone who's definitely doing it? You've got it on the calendar. You're ready to go. Looks like we've got a lot of definitelys. That's what I like to see. Fantastic. So really quickly before we jump into our Q&A session, which should have plenty of time for, going to give you an overview of Golf Status, what we do, how we can help your golf event. So we are a solution for charities and for event organizers. We have worked with thousands of charity golf tournaments of all types and sizes to help them save time and raise more money. We actually estimate that we save about 30 to 40 hours per tournament on average with our technology platform. We allow you to easily and effectively promote your event with custom mobile-friendly registration website. It's a great opportunity to really share your organization's story, but also it simplifies and automates the whole registration process. So we provide secure online registration and donor data collection via that custom event website. And we also make it very simple as well. So we can streamline tournament management. Our technology was built for golf events. It can handle all those golf nuances that I detailed earlier, provides robust reporting. So you can export all of that registration data with just a few clicks, and you can get that imported into whatever donor CRM you may be utilizing. And it also allows for very easy delegation and collaboration. Then we can allow you to easily onboard sponsors and provide them with that premium digital exposure. So we can help you build out those custom packages, include that premium digital exposure within them as well. And like I mentioned, that technology sponsorship that's exclusive to our platform. On average, our clients are raising an extra $4,000 just with that package alone. Then we can add some fun and excitement to your event as well. Through our Golf Status mobile app, we can do live mobile scoring as well as run live leaderboards for your event. And then we have some really cool add-ons and extras as well. So we can do hole-in-one contests. We can do those custom flag sponsorships for you. But really, at the end of the day, we are here to help you raise as much money as possible. So we can allow you to collect those straight donations. And when you combine our exclusive sponsorship opportunities and add-on opportunities. We are helping some of our events who are taking advantage of all of those raise an extra $10,000 or even more. So we are so excited that these options are being so effective for our clients, and we would love to share them with you to show them how we can help you raise more money as well. Then we have what we call our Golf for Good program. So this is a give back initiative. It allows us to provide no cost access to our technology to 501c organizations, or really anyone who's out there doing social good, raising money for a really great cause. So it allows us to work directly with nonprofits, get this technology in the hands of many folks as possible. And like I said, even if you are not a 501c organization, we likely can get you qualified if you're raising money for a really great cause. Just follow up with an email and the info on your golf event, what you're raising money for. We can get you all set up for nothing up front. Now, one of the things that really differentiates us from a lot of other providers out there is our support team. We have an industry-leading support team. They will be working with you before, during, and after your event. When you come on board with Golf Status, you get a dedicated client success specialist who works with you throughout the whole process. They will be at your constant beck and call. And even if you are in a situation where you need some immediate support, we have a live chat available that's monitored 7 days a week. We'll be there whenever you need us to help you, make sure your golf event is as successful as possible. You don't have to be the golf expert. You can absolutely lean on us and lean on our technology. Then we also have our really awesome Golf for Good blog. It contains the latest in golf fundraising, tips, case studies, lessons learned. We also have a very vast online resource library that includes, white papers, how-to guides, templates. All of these items are completely free to download. So check that out. If there's anything you'd like to learn more about, any questions you have, browse that resource library. You might be able to find some answers in there. Then we also have our Golf Status Marketplace. So we don't provide everything that you can possibly provide to a golf event. So we've formed partnerships with some great other companies that can provide things to your event. We've vetted these folks. They are really great to work with. They provide a lot of value to your golf event. So if there are any introductions you would like to be made to these companies, simply visit that page, fill out the form, and we're happy to make those intros for you to kind of further your golf events fundraising and see if they can add anything that can really help with your golf event. All right, so we're going to get into the Q&A session now. Like I said, if I don't get to your question in this session, there's my email address, my phone number. You can even message me on Instagram if you'd like. Hit me up if I don't get to it, and I'll get an answer for you. So first question is, what recommendations do you have for moving a repeat sponsor to a higher level sponsorship? So for example, moving a whole sponsor to a higher dollar sponsorship. So first and foremost, I would definitely meet with the sponsor and make sure that they had a really great experience sponsoring your event this past year. And then just straight up ask him, what can we do to get you into this higher level sponsorship? We have, all these opportunities above, was there anything else you would like to get out of your sponsorship with us? And ask him, what can we do to kind of up your support with us for next year's event, and see what they say. And if it's something that you can definitely provide to them, make a deal with them, and kind of that can help them move up into that sponsorship. But like I said earlier in the session, the best thing you can do to ensure sponsors are coming back is put on a well-run professional event that makes that sponsor look really good. You might be surprised, if you are able to do that, how easy that conversation to upsell them will go next year. All right. Next question we have is, should we include a team in a sponsorship package? Do sponsors really want that? I think that is really a fantastic way to, kind of kill two birds with one stone. You're getting a team registration sold, and you're getting a sponsorship sold. Speaking as someone who works for a company that does sponsor golf events from time to time, it is always great when you get a team in the event as well, because not only are you supporting a really great cause, but you get the opportunity to be out on the golf course as well. So yes, I absolutely think you should include teams in your sponsorship packages. Obviously, include them in the packages where it makes the most sense financially. So obviously, if you shouldn't include a team with a whole sponsor, if a team in your event costs $500, someone shouldn't get a team for $200 or $250. But if the numbers make sense, absolutely. I think a lot of sponsors, not only want to support the good cause, but they want to actually be out on the golf course as well. It's a good excuse to get out of the office and also, interact with everyone. Like I said, maybe bring out some clients, bring out some employees to show appreciation. So I think that's a great strategy to include teams and really as many sponsorship packages as possible. And we work with multiple events here at Golf Status that they don't even sell any team registrations by themselves. All of their teams come from sponsors. So it's definitely a great idea. Next question is, when is the best time to reach out to prospective sponsors? Well, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these companies have budgets for supporting charity events, for sponsoring events. So you want to get to them as soon as possible. And if you're too early getting to them, that's not a problem at all. Just ask them, okay, when's the best time to reach out about potentially sponsoring my event? So as soon as you've got your date, your golf course, that site's up and running, even if you don't have all of your sponsorship packages completely built out yet, I still think you can start throwing out some feelers and seeing if you can set up some meetings with sponsors. In those meetings, just ask them, what kind of sponsorship would be most attractive to you. Make them tell you what they might be looking for. So I think it's never too early to start reaching out to your sponsors. All right. What kind of post-tournament follow-up do you recommend for tournament sponsors? I'm a big fan of the handwritten thank you. I think that goes a long way, shows how much you appreciate them, and any other shout outs you can make to them, whether it's in your thank you to golfers or we talked about a social media post for when they come on board, but you can even do one after the event is over to show additional appreciation for them. But I really love that handwritten letter to them, thanking them, maybe including your dollars helped us do XYZ. Again, getting specific with the impact that they were providing by purchasing that sponsorship. So that's one of my favorite ways to follow up with a sponsor, the handwritten letter. And also we have a company that we work with that can help you make custom videos as well. So custom video message, I think would be really cool, but any kind of customized follow-up for sure is definitely warranted and will help you continue to steward that sponsor and hopefully bring them back next year. Excuse me. What do you think is the best approach to connect with sponsors? Letter, email, phone, in person? Everyone's different. This kind of comes back to selling 101. You really want to have a good mix of how you're reaching out, because some people will only do business over email. Some people will only do business if you call them, maybe text them, show up in person. So you're not going to really have I think one size fits all situation. You're going to have to mix up your outreach. So really, I love calling them right away and then following up with an email if you don't get through. But again, it all comes back to being persistent. In the sales world, on average, it takes about 7 to 9 outreach attempts just to get someone to respond to you. So remember that. Don't give up after 1 or 2 failed attempts. Keep calling, keep emailing, keep texting. So before I go to my next question, if you have any questions at all, please, again, throw those in the webinar chat and we will get to them. Our next question is, what do you think is the most valuable benefit a tournament can provide a sponsor? So in-person impressions, customer data, anything else? Again, this depends on the sponsor themselves. What are they looking for? What one sponsor values most might not be what a different sponsor values most. So this is why I think it's very important to have that conversation with your sponsor when you bring them on board, or if you're in a meeting with them before they come on board. What are you looking to get out of this? Do you want those as many impressions as possible? Do you want to actually interact with our golfers on the day of the event? Do you just want the data that comes out of this golf tournament? Really make an effort to understand that and provide that to them. And again, that'll go a long way in showing them that this is a valuable sponsorship opportunity that I should take advantage of. So it's not going to be a one size fits all for every sponsor. It'll be different from sponsor to sponsor, company to company. just ask them that question and do your best you can to provide them what they find the most value in. All right, next question we have. In an area that has numerous charity golf tournaments, how can I make sponsorship of my tournament more enticing? It's a really good question. When you're in a large area with a lot of golf events and you're having to really stand out, I always tell people, when they ask just generally, how can I make mine stand out from others? I think putting on a very well run professional event, well oiled machine is the best way you can have your event stand out. From a sponsorship angle, I just think the amount of exposure and the amount of value you can provide to them will go a long way, allowing them to have a team in the event, to be able to play in the event, allowing them to be on site if they're not playing, so they can really interact with the golfers. And if you're an event that drives a sold out field every single year, I think that's really important as well, because they want to get in front of as many people as possible. So if you can go to them and say, hey, I got a sold out field of 144 golfers every year, they're more likely going to want to jump at the chance to continue to sponsor you year after year. And then once you have that, you can build on, how much exposure you're providing them, value you're providing them if they want to play in the event. But I really think it comes down to, if you're driving a ton of golfers every single year, you'll get their attention. And then from there, it's just really building on their experience. So I'm going to do one more question and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see here. Someone asked, why is it important to have many different types of sponsors and different prices? Well, it's important because not all companies have similar budgets for sponsoring golf events. While someone may have the ability to come in and easily provide a $10,000 sponsorship, another company may not. So you really want to mix it up, provide variety, and some folks don't have a lot of experience sponsoring events, and so they might probably want to come in at a lower dollar sponsor. Maybe some people are looking for fresh ideas. They don't want to be, your typical whole sponsor. They want to come in as something new, something unique. So providing as many options as possible, I think, will allow you to work with as many companies and sponsors as possible. So that's definitely important. So we're going to wrap it up there. But like I said, if I didn't get to any of your questions that you want to ask me, there's my contact info. Hit me up, email, phone, Instagram, whatever it may be. More than happy to answer your questions. You will get an email from us too, wrapping this up with all the slides. And again, if I didn't get to any of your questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I know we've also been dropping links to resources in the chat as well. So if there is anything else you wanted resource-wise, please reach out to us and we'll provide it with you. So again, thank you all so much for spending some time with us today, and hope you got a lot out of this session, and hope to hear from you all soon.
Thank you all so much for attending, and a big thank you to Logan and Golf Status. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.